Diablo 4 patch 1.1.1 is here, and yes, that's a bunch of small numbers for a little patch. However, it does have some lofty goals. Let's dive into it. Setting aside any sort of class changes for a moment, the number one most important thing that this patch does is mob density. Now, I'm on record stating that this game is better than Diablo 3. However, the one thing that it's missing is the mob density that was Diablo 3. The ability to absolutely just feel like you're tearing through waves and waves of monsters is something Diablo 4 has truly struggled with, and that has been fixed. At least in Helltides and Nightmare Dungeons, there is about a roughly 60% increase in mob density in both of these areas. And I am definitely excited to give it a try to see if I notice the difference. So far, from what I've heard from a few different people, you absolutely can, and that is going to be a welcome change, especially for those of us who get tired of just doing one over the other. Being able to switch back and forth, and especially Helltides, hopefully we're able to farm cinders much more efficiently now. That would be a welcome change. And for those of you who are still leveling your characters like I am, I've heard that roughly you have to go back and forth from town 2 to 4 times if you're someone who likes picking up tons and tons of items as you're collecting materials and trying to gain money, as opposed to the 1, maybe sometimes 2 times it was pre-patch. That's a welcome change. Speaking of items, there is now a 100% legendary drop rate on bosses level 35 and above. And then if you look at what's on screen here, that bonus ledge drop actually increases the higher level up the boss is. Nice touch. Oh, and our favorite little treasure goblins are now getting an increased drop rate in so much as they now have a 100% chance of at least dropping 1 legendary item. However, we still need to see more variety in treasure goblins altogether, I say. Another welcome change is they decrease the amount of gold that it's going to take to refund skill points and Paragon nodes. This is definitely a welcome change. I was wrong about this one early on, and the higher the level you get, the more that you realize how expensive this all is. And honestly, I actually think they should even make it cheaper than it is, because until they allow us to save builds so that we can switch back to them whenever we want, this is the only way you can massively switch up your build in case you find like a really cool unique or a couple of good legendary items. And I kind of think that's just unacceptable. Oh, and by the way, we get 1 new stash tab. No way to just filter through items and things like that, but at least we can store more stuff and forget that it's ever there. As far as items go, I did see that they did change up quite a few different uniques and what they actually do. This is going to be good or bad depending on what unique you like or what one you're farming for. Though I think a key point for a lot of people to realize is if you are someone who already has one of the uniques that are being switched up, the one that you currently have on your character or on your account will not change. It will stay the old version forever. This only affects new drops, which is going to be kind of strange because there's in theory going to be builds that work for uniques you can no longer get in the game that could kind of just stick around for a while, which is going to be kind of amusing. This isn't an ideal switch, but it just kind of is what it is. And then as far as the class changes go, there's quite a few different changes here. I'm only playing the Rogue so far this season, so I can't really speak too much on the other classes. Rogue didn't really have that much change. A few things that I did notice with the other classes though was for Barbarians, the leveling process is just an absolute nightmare. I hear about it all the time. They have increased Fury generation for Barbarians, so hopefully that's going to affect a lot of people trying to level their Barb. They also oddly buffed a lot of the already super well performing Necromancer unique and legendary items, so that was kind of a strange thing, but for those of you who are going that build, you're only going to be stronger now, it looks like. And probably the most important switch was this technically is the patch of the Sorcerer. Both their damage and survivability have been greatly increased here, so I'm hoping to see some amazing builds come from that. I think over the next couple days, YouTube is going to be littered with build guides for Sorcerers. And just like that, those are my quick thoughts for this quick patch. I'm going to go actually check the game out right now, see how it's playing, and if I have any more prominent thoughts or something that I still think really needs to be fixed, and there still is quite a few things, I'll definitely make another video. But let me know down below, are you still enjoying Season 1? Are you even playing it at all? What class are you playing? What would you like to see changed? We'll talk soon.